Hello, hello, hello. It's Anne Lewis, your independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based on the Sunshine Coast here in Queensland, Australia. I'm just throwing a bit more light on this. Actually, I didn't set up my lights hardly at all, so just give me a second. Righty-ho. Tonight I'm going to be showcasing how to create these two cards. So let me know if you are, I was going to say if you're watching, you know what I mean. If you can hear and see me, so that I know that everything's going okay. It does take a few minutes for it to go on relay or replay. Now, so thank you also if you are watching on replay, so either on Facebook or YouTube. I am featuring, wait a minute, I've shifted all my stuff. The last minute, I did a die cut and didn't go as planned. So I am actually featuring the Frosted Forest bundle. So I'm not using actually the stamp set, but I am using the dies. So let me just grab them. I don't know why they're all the way over there. But they've got lots. Hi, Glenda. Hi, the two Glendas. So there's lots of dies in here, and you've seen me use this for other online classes. So it's got the bird. This is the one with the bird that I love, or the two birds actually. But I'm going to be using this die tonight to create that silhouette, and I'm also using some masking. Now, I know some of you avoid, like the plague, masking or blending, but I've got to say, and I'm going to show you again, that a little bit of practice is all you need. And truly, if, the glass mat does make it a little easier. Hi, Marianne. Hi, so let's get started. But before I do, so I'll put these cards out of the way. And I'll show you some other cards made with that stamp set. So do you remember when I did this one? So it's got the bird, it's got the, wait a minute. And it's got this tree here. And then I also this is using the stencils and the stamp set, which is one of my favourite cards this year, and then also this one here. And I'm sure I've used it a few other times, but these were the cards that I found really easily. I've got a little bit of news before I start, so I don't forget. Now I have a little piece of paper here, so I can go through everything. Don't forget that our kits, our amazing kit from the kits collection, so not the scrapbooking collection, from the kits are up to 30% off. Really, ones that have just been released are, I think I worked it out at about 10% off, but so many others, a lot more. And I know, sorry. Hi, Gail. How are you? Hi. Now, the next thing is we've got, so kit collection up to 30% off. So they're available from our online store, and the link's in the description tonight. And also, do you have trouble coordinating your Stampin' Up colours? Well, coming out next month, so at the start of November, you will be able to purchase this colour wheel, which shows you what colour, well, helps you pick colours. Now, I didn't use it tonight, but I did use it the other day. Oh, I used it on a card, which I'm going to post in the next couple of days. But it was about which colours I actually use with Bubble Bath. And so it was really easy to work out, and this makes me use different Stampin' Up colours. So it's really, really good. Now, if you don't always use Stampin' Up colours, you may find a similar colour that may help you work it, but really it is designed for our Stampin' Up colours. Now, next one, and it uses our base colours. So mine actually has our base colours, but not our in colours. So it will always last. And it's now called the colour coach. I call it a colour wheel, I know, but it is actually a colour coach. It's going to be called a colour coach. So the other thing is, actually I need to show you that this is me. I am here. Wait a minute, where am I? Hi. Also, the other thing is I'm about to start this week. I'm running a little behind. The 12 weeks of Christmas. So each week you will get a new project. So it will include cards, tags, 3D projects. So things that you can use over Christmas, maybe some table gifts, etc. So things that you can use over Christmas or in the lead up for Christmas using our using like the designs that I've got here. They're all, just about all of them are going to be super easy that anyone can do. Now to make it easier, and I just need to go and grab something on this. Sorry, I left it out here. Now I have, oops, I'll wait till I get back. I have one share left of the products in the new mini catalogue. So I'll just show you, I'll throw you back down to the desk. Hope you're not getting whiplash as I do this. So you get 1/8 of a pack of each of the designer series paper. And these are going to be the papers that I'm actually using in the 12 weeks of Christmas, because obviously I'll be using the latest products there, and also some of the ribbons, and also some of the embellishments. Now I won't be using a lot of embellishments. Do you need this to actually complete the 12 weeks of Christmas? Of course not. You can use what's in your own stash. But if this would help you, you get all these papers, so 1/8 of each of the papers in the mini catalogue, a metre or just over a metre of ribbon, and 1/5 of a pack of the dimensionals. So really is handy at this time of year, and it means you don't have to buy too much, and that is $65.50. And all you have to do is send me a message plus postage. So if you can't do a pickup, which you might be able to do, but if not, and I think postage will be about $10 because I'll put it in a satchel. So there's another piece of news. Now, the last piece of news is if you've been ever considering to be a Stampin' Up demonstrator, now is the time, because we've got this special offer going where you get $51 extra products for signing up during the month of October. So for $169, you get the normal $235 of products of your choice, plus the extra $51, plus some catalogues and business supplies. So it's a great deal if that is what you're interested in. Got any questions, send me off a message and I will answer them, or give me a call if you got my phone number. Rightio, let's get started. I think we've got a few here. Oh, hi Madeline. Rightio, so so wait a minute. Gail is having trouble commenting. I'm not sure. And Glenda asks, how's Kiko? To be honest, Kiko has improved out of sight. She's nowhere near as wicked as she was. I'm not sure of the why of that. I think because I have a cat-proof yard. And hi, Natsy. And I think she's been allowed out a little bit more, and she has a lot more fun. Rightio, so I'm going to do this card first because it was the first one that I did. And I know that's annoying having the, wherever it is here, having the ring there. But this card does need to have a glass mat to make it work. So I've already die cut the trees out to make this card. So it's really simple, and it doesn't cut the bottom of it, so I've just cut a little piece off it so it stands by it yourself. And you'll see what I do with this to make it fit that circle shape. But first off, there's a couple of things that we need to do. Now, this was one of my, while I was running a little late, I have, Stampin' Up have masking tape. I didn't have enough of it to do the full sheet. So I've actually used something that I had in my drawer, which is just low tack masking tape. So what I've done is I have die cut the circle out. So this is how I get this here. So I'm going to stick it over my basic white cardstock. Now, the size of this does not really matter. I always make it a little bigger and then cut it down. So I need to pull this down a little closer to me. I want to get this in the center. So let's use my grid on my glass mat. Wait a minute, I'm having a little bit of trouble seeing here. So this one I've done in so it's just like tack. As you see, I ripped it, so I'm going to have to be a little careful here. And I may have to put my sentiment up the top of this card. We'll see. I can turn it around, do it like that. And I'm just going to fit this in. Now I've protected it all, and the other thing is I always put my inks here, so it's a little better having this little rip here out of the way. I'm thinking it'll be okay. Now I want to stick this down close so no ink slips under here as I'm blending. Now I don't have to worry about this. This is what I add last. So let's get the blending done. I'm going to be using 4 colors. Some of my favorite, this is my pretty colors that I like for backgrounds. Now, you could do whatever you like, but my colors are, first one is Real Red, then Flirty Flamingo, Peach Pie, and Lemon Lime Twist. I like all of them. Now, I'm just going to put them out of the way. Go to my Real Red, and I've picked up 4 of my blending brushes. Now, I know a lot of you are scared about blending, but really, it is not difficult, especially with a glass mat. So here's my red blending brush. So I'm going to pick up some ink. As you see, I'm just gently going around. Then I'm going to put it directly onto my glass mat, which takes all the, as I call them, those little ugly edges that you sometimes get. And I'm going to start off, and I just rub it on there so it comes a little smoother when I get it onto the paper. But I'm going to start, I turn it around because then I'm working what works naturally for me. And I'm going to just go stripes up and down now. So I start onto the masking paper to keep it away. Oh, I've got lots of colour on there, probably a little more than what I wanted. But that's okay. Everyone turns out a little different. Sometimes if you don't have a lot of colour, it takes a little while to add colour. Close that back up. Then I'll get the Flirty Flamingo. Whoops. Now, in this technique, I meant to get some, sorry, I'm just going to pick up a cloth. I meant to pick up some baby wipes. I threw my old ones out. They were getting a little old and were a little dry and weren't really cleaning up very well. But I do have a cleaning cloth, which will also work for my hand. This comes with the glass mat. So I'll just clean up my fingers because I did stick them in. You'll see me using it a few times tonight. Oh yeah, so Flirty Flamingo, open this up. Now, Glenda asked, and I got a little sidetracked about Kiko. She has been very well behaved this week. She'd need to be. Maybe she heard I threatened to send her back, which you know would never happen. So all I'm doing is putting it on the glass mat, and it's so light you can't see it, and then blending it into the red and down a little bit. So all the blending, there's an overlap for it. Now, sometimes it's darker, sometimes it's lighter. You don't have to keep it straight. The best you're trying to do is keep it a little smooth. Next one is Peach Pie. It's a great way of adding a background. And you've got the ink pads. So I'll put this in a different place. This is the Peach Pie, which we had a bit of a disaster because I re-inked it with pumpkin pie. So then I had to clean it up, which wasn't too difficult because I just used some paper towel and soaked up all that pumpkin pie out of it. But it's looking pretty good. Maybe a little bit more pumpkin-y pie than it used to be, but that'll all sort itself out. Then my last colour is Lemon Lime Twist. And you can see how good Kiko is now because she's fast asleep in the lounge. She came out to have a bit of a look and I went, oh, here we go. So where's a little space for this? Put that there. I need a bit more colour. I have re-inked this, but it's didn't pick up a lot of colour. Now you can see the colour. You can see I'm not doing anything flash. Righto, it's done. I think it's done. As I said, everyone will turn out slightly different. So I've closed all those up. Now I'm going to clean up my desk. Now I will do all that again, but I don't want to be working on an inky glass mat. So you can see how easy it comes off the glass mat and how good the cleaning cloth is. Hi Nat, so lovely to see you. Well, I know I can't see you, but Nat is kind of my adopted daughter. So I'm just peeling this off very gently. Hi Sharon. Now I'm doing it gentle so it doesn't rip any of the paper, and depending on what masking tape you're using, sometimes it can stick too much. And I don't know whether you can see, there's a little bit of black stuff on there. That's because I reduced the tackiness by just putting it on my cotton t-shirt. Now I might be able to use this again. Well, not now, I've ripped that last piece, but anyway. So how gorgeous is that? You can see, completely different than this one, but it's still going to work really well. Now, I need to put this on here, but I want it to be a circle. So there's a little trick for this. If I can find some dies. Now, so I'm using the stylish shapes, which obviously got a little messy when I was throwing them around before. So I'll tidy them up so you can see how many are here. I know, so I used the biggest one. And we don't have any plain circles anymore, I'm pretty sure. So these are what I had to use. And even though they're stitched, you actually don't ever get to see that mark. Now, I'm going to shift this out of the way and I'm going to grab my mini cut and emboss, which I know I did. I should have some plates. Here they are. I've got some plates for it, and it should be pretty easy. But this is one of those really nifty tricks that make this work really well. I'm pretty sure that will fit through there. I'll have to cut this down a little bit. And I've got a cloth so this won't slide all over the place, which of course I can't find anymore. I got it out. Oh, here it is, over here, all the way over here. I don't know how I was going to reach that. Just going to put this down on the desk, on that glass, to stop it sliding everywhere. I think I can double this up. Now, all I'm doing, first off, I've got plate 1 and 2 plate 2s. So I try and keep one plate clean and not cut on. But I need a little, oh, wait a minute, you'll see this here. I want this to be a circle shape. And you can see how I did it here. See how it's a circle shape? So the perfect way or the easy way of doing this is actually just put it through that die again. And I need to cut this down just a smidgen so it'll fit through. So I cut that down. Now I'm turning it around, making sure, and I'll just put these here, making sure that I've got the trees where I want them to be. They don't have to be centered, they just have to be like that. And I don't want it to hit the edges and shift. And you'll see the nifty way, well, it's not that nifty, but I know you're all thinking, but she's going to cut those trees off, the tops of the trees. No, I'm not. So I put it bottom first. I'm going to feed this through. I need to put these at some different layers. Now, so I'm only going to cut up to there. So I'll be very careful. I don't want to cut too far. I think that's it. I'll wind it back. Let's see. I think I did enough. I did do enough. Look at that. So now I have a little boat. I'll clean this up, get rid of all this. Get rid of this. And I'll show you. Just want to put this die back so I don't lose it. So it goes back on my magnetic sheets. And that's safe. I know, so here's what we got. So I've put the red at the top, and now it fits that mask circle perfectly. So let's stick that down with some multi-purpose glue. Now, I could have used adhesive sheets, but on this, I find it, this one, not all of them, some other fine dyes I have a little bit of trouble. But because I've been practicing hardly using any glue because everybody's been laughing at me, this should be fine. Unless you're using the multi-purpose glue or the fine tip glue, this would be pretty hard. So I'm not applying a lot of glue, just a little couple of dobs in a few places. Right out. I'm just showing you. Not sure, yeah, you can see where I've applied the glue. So, Sharon has just asked me, not necessarily in this way, but where Christine is tonight. We do have lots of fun. I do a joint live with Christine, who lives in the United States and I'm good friends with. She's a fellow demonstrator. So I just gently use a bone folder. And you can see how this is going down. And last Friday, there were lots and lots and lots, right out, too many laughs. And I have to say, they were at my expense, every one of them, I think. But I had so much fun, and I think we all do. And I've just got a bit of ink there. I want to get rid of that. So I've already cut these birds out, so I've stamped them and die cut them because I didn't think you wanted to see me do that. So I'll stick them down. Now I kept this flat. I didn't want to pop it up. And you can put these birds wherever you liked. I just picked, oops, where I picked isn't where it ended up, but that's okay. But I did want them in different directions. Don't want them to look like they're flying in unison. So about there. Hey, so you can see how easy this is. And you could use a stamp set to get that silhouette. So we've got some stamp sets that work for silhouettes as well. Now I'm going to grab my ink pad and my stamp set, which is from Friends for Life. You see me use this all the time. Now I'm doing another thank you card. I need so many thank you cards at the moment that I'm trying to use them all. And then you could do a Christmas silhouette card as well. I just didn't have the stamps for those. So I'll just stamp the thank you. Simple thank you. So who would have thought that was going to be so easy? So let's put it together. And that black border, this is why borders matter or layers matter, is that black border makes it pop. So who does blending now? Who likes blending? So many of our stamps work for blending for a background. I know. And then I'm just going to put this on a base, and my base is 8 1/4 by 5 1/2. This is 4 inches by 5 3/8, and this is 5 1/4 by 3 7/8. So simple measurements, all standard card size, which I try and stick to make it really super easy for you. So Lynette likes this card. Oh, so does Glenda. Let's make sure I don't put it upside down. So there's a few really neat techniques in this. Now I'm just going to turn this over, use my bone folder, get all that glue there, and there's the card. So what do you think of that one? I need a lot more practice with my blending. That looks amazing. I'm just trying to see everyone's comments. Look, to be honest, it doesn't take a lot. I have found truly that the glass mat makes it for me. Now just remember, if you don't have a glass mat, you may have other options around your house that will work really well. So it's got to be that really slick surface. Rightio, so there's my card. You saw how easy that was. So let's go and do this one. So it's done a little different, as you can imagine. So I've got I'm going to have to turn this over because I didn't clean my ink pads when I put them in there. So I've already die cut this piece. So this is my card base. This is my top layer, and this is my contrasting layer, again, basic black. So this time I'm doing it slightly different because last time I used the mask and it held my paper in place. This time I'm going to have to ink it. I'm going to, have to hold it down. So I'm only putting, I don't want to put too much of an edge because I need all this paper. I didn't cut it as big as I thought I did. Bigger the paper that you cut this, the more room you've got to fiddle with, especially with this pattern. As you see, I've used this paper a few times, just so I can see it. So I'm just holding it down by a little bit. Otherwise, when you're blending, it's going to slide all over the place. And somewhere I'm missing a piece. I'm going to grab another piece. Don't know what I used before, but anyway, it's warped. The tiniest little border up here. Right, so I'm just holding that in place. That's all that masking tape is for. I'm not actually masking, but I do have one little mask to do. And I've die cut using exactly the style shapes. And I did die cut it out of this piece that I cut out. Now, this is my moon. So first off, it's going to be sticky. So I want to take a little bit of stick off so it doesn't rip. But I want to leave enough on. So I've just selected there. And I want to make sure it's stuck down. So I can use my bone folder to do that. That's better. It's got all those edges down. Now I'm just going to go through exactly that same process. See, it's quick and easy. Now the other thing that having masking tape or anything to hold this down, it can be old washi tape, but I like the wider masking tape, or keep, when you cut your Stampin' Up one, cut it a little wider. Wholly and solely because it just takes any ugly edges off if they still exist by the time you hit your paper. So again, this time I'm standing up. So I'm just moving this around. So Glenda says, I think I'm too heavy-handed when I do it and it ends up all patchy. Mine ends up patchy if I don't have it on like here and roll it on. And I don't put a lot of ink on. If you add too much ink, it's not going to go on smoothly. Add a little bit of ink and then you can build up the layers. But if it goes on ugly, you're in a bit of trouble. So I'm starting off here and just going over. So there was a fair bit of ink on there. So I don't really need to do much. I always put my finger on there, which seems to give me a little bit more control. And I've chosen to go up a little darker at the top this time. I know. Now I did, where's my, for those who have been following me for a while, you'll know that I have problems with shoulders, arms and hands from an accident. And at the moment, it is playing up merry hell. Rightio, so there's my red. Next colour is going to be my Flirty Flamingo. Get that out of the way. So my Flirty Flamingo. So I've just kept the same brush. Now, I will just rinse these out later. Now, I didn't even re-ink the Flirty Flamingo. But so I'm coming over off here and then rolling it on and overlapping. Now this is, I didn't re-ink, so it's probably going to take a little longer. So I've overlapped onto the real red. And it'll pick up a little bit of the real red. Oh, then I'm going to add the peach pie, alias pumpkin pie. Might be a bit darker than you expect. I think I got all the ink off. So it's kind of a good trick that if you do that, it won't be the first time I've done it. It won't be the last time. So this peach pie coming across. I always do it in circles so that I don't get any lines. So it's just nice and smooth. And I'll go into over that Flirty Flamingo. Maybe up even a little further. As I said, will always be different. And then my Lemon Lime Twist, which, as you know, is one of my favourite colours. Now, the Lemon Lime Twist, as you know from the last time, is taking a little while today to add that colour. This masking, you know, like the sun and the moon, is such a good technique to know. Pretty darn easy. A little bit more. Now, I know we can try and get this absolutely perfect, but I don't want it perfect. I want it to have a little bit of texture. So there we go, done. So let's gently peel off my moon. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Look at that. Love that. I love those reveals each time. Oh, I want to clean up my desk before we have a disaster. Now I'll just rinse out this cloth later. Mine's a little wet, I think. I'll just dry off this with a rag. So let's gently, and I always say gently, just peel this off. And as I said, these can be reused. I'll just shove them in my top drawer. Next time I need to use them, I can pull them out. Depends on what you do with them. You can use them sometimes lots and lots, and then other times when I like the ones I put through the die cut, because there's all the pressure on them, they're not able to be used. Okay, so now I need that die. What's happened to it? Got my card. Let's hope it turns up. I can't find it. What's the worst that can happen? I have to re-die cut it. Oh, here it is. It was black on black. Saved. Righto. So this is my card base. Sorry, that's my card base. Again, it is 8 1/4 by 5 1/2. Remember, I'm going to hide that. This is my first layer, basic black. It is 3 7/8 by 5 1/4. I think that's right. Let's just double check that if I haven't made that up. Yep, 3 7/8 by 5 1/4. So this will then be, I'll grab my trimmer. Everything's warped. I think I had so much on my desk. Oh, no, here it is. Now I'll just trim off these little edges. So there's no ugly ones showing where I haven't blended. Don't you like that lemon lime twist? Now to do this job, because I have changed my blade so it's nice and sharp, and we'll cut these really fine little, in a minute I'll show you if I can get it out of the trimmer. Those little fine pieces. So some trimmers won't do that, and certainly if you've got a blunt blade, It's a lot harder than if you've got a sharp blade. Whoops, I haven't cut that small enough. I need to do just a smidgen more. I realised on Friday with Christine, who doesn't understand Australian slang that much, how often I use smidgen. I think it's a card making term, actually. I know, so I've trimmed the, I've got to, see, I've now got to cut it down. So I just took off those edges. So now I have to cut it down to, my base is 3 7/8. So let's do 3 1/4 this way. And 5, which I need a little bit at the top, so I'm going to do 5 1/8 this way. So some of my beautiful lemon lime twist is going to disappear. Okay, so then I'm going to put my trees down. So I get to choose how far up. I mean, if you wanted to, you could bring it all the way down. But I didn't like that because on the black it lost a bit. You needed that, for me, everybody has different taste. You needed it to be up a little bit. Now again, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here. Remember, I'm going to cut this off and then add a little tiny bit of glue on these, on the branches, because I don't want them popping up and breaking off. You do need a clean tip for this. As you see, it doesn't take me long because I'm not applying a lot of glue and it doesn't have to go everywhere. It just needs a little dot on each bit. Okay. So I'll put this up here. As I said, it's personal taste how far you go up. And then I want to chop this off. Use my scissors. So I'll turn it over, which makes it easier to line up. Okay. Now I want that to sit down, so I'll grab my bone folder and turn it over and just impress that. Now this time I'm going to stamp those birds using black memento. Doesn't this look good? Love this. I love this technique. It's one of my favourites, to be honest. So I'll put one bird here. Now I did consider colouring these in black, but I didn't think they looked as good. So there we go. Oops, sorry about that noise. So who else blends? No, I'm talking about blending brushes here. So this is a little different than the last one. So I've got a smaller black border, which I like. And I've got to add the sentiment. Now, the first one I used this really heavy font. But once I stamped it, I went too heavy for me. So this time, oh, except that one doesn't work. So let's grab my, let's grab my stamp set, which is called My Small Business. It has lots of thank yous on it. Let's see. Well, there are my options. I might just grab that little one, and I've used it before, as you can see. I'll grab that one. Now, I've used it, so it should stamp pretty well. I've re-inked my black memento. Then out of the way. Oops, don't want it upside down. I'm going to put it to the left, I think. All right, stamp's nice, doesn't it? Now let's put the card together. Doesn't need a lot of supplies. It doesn't need particular supplies. It just needs something that can be cut with a silhouette. We've had some great silhouette dies, and we've still got some, but this is my favourite one. Oops. Now, if you're interested in my 12 weeks of Christmas starting this week, and you're not subscribed to my mailing list, now's the time to do that. Now, you can do it from Facebook, you can do it from my website. All you have to do is sign up, and then you'll get... Sorry, I'm having... I know, we didn't do that very well, did we? That's better, I think. Pretty easy to do, and then you won't miss out on any. And there's going to be some cards that you can make in bulk. Hello, so there's my 2 cards. Let's clean this up in case there was any left, so I don't get any stray ink. Hello, so there's the 2 cards using the same techniques. I've got some... Oh, wait a minute. This. That gets rid of that, and then you can see these clearly. So what do you think? Would you make these cards? Good technique, night. Well, thank you. I'm glad you liked it, Glenda. Adios. So let me know which one you like. The card with the circle masking, or the more traditional masking, like this one. So Levi, so Madeline's already on, loves the second card. Isn't it amazing? I think this is one of those that you'll have a clear preference for. So leave a comment and let me know. Now, next week, there is no Facebook Live. I'm actually going to the ballet to see Coco Chanel. So I'm heading down to Brisbane and I'll be away for the night. So I'll be sorry. And Madeline says we'll make a good sympathy card. And you're right. It's such a... I mean, you could change up the colours. This same card, if you wanted to make a Halloween and do it in tones of purple, would be perfect as well. All of a sudden, the whole tone of the card would be completely different. But I wanted to keep it, for me, a sunrise. So the moon's still up, but it's early sunrise. So it was a happy card for me. Hi-de-go. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate you dropping by tonight. And I look forward to catching up again in 2 weeks. But I will be doing, I always have to think very carefully what I'm about to say here. I will be doing a couple more 5-minute craft quickies in that time. Don't forget, if you like this technique and would like to see projects, would like to see more of my projects, I should say, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel or my Facebook page, or both, of course, to stay up to date with all my news, all my projects. And if you leave comments, I always read them. And I always comment back because I appreciate you taking the time to let me know what you like, what you'd like to see more of. So thanks, everybody. Really appreciate you as always. Bye for now.